Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. If you have not done so yet, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave your comments. We appreciate all the feedback, man. I'm excited because I got the number one pound for pound fighter in the world in the BKFC. He's defending his strap a week from tomorrow in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He is going into enemy territory. He's looking to keep that strap and has a big matchup with Donald Sanchez. I got with me David, the Redneck Mundell. What's going on, David, man? I appreciate you jumping on here. I know you're in Albuquerque right now already. I guess you're getting used to that altitude or time change or what have you, or a combination of all that stuff. Welcome aboard, my friend.
I appreciate you having me on. Real quick, everybody knows that I'm a pretty docile person. I don't really. I do get angry. A lot of people don't think I get angry. So today I brought my anger translator, Noah, aboard to help me out to express my feelings a little bit.
I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I can't wait to do it, man. He looks like the bodyguard right behind you, man. So you're there, you're there already in Albuquerque. I mean, talk about this fight, opportunity to go into enemy territory and try to defend your strap against obviously a great competitor in Donald Sanchez.
Donald has worked his way up through everything that he's, I guess, had to do to get the fight, accepted. As a champ, I believe people should be coming to my hometown. I got a huge fan base at home, too. They're flying me out over here, and I think that's a little bit messed up. I'm not too concerned about it, though. I'm going to go out there and do what I do, and I'll have my hand raised at the end of the night regardless.
What the champ meant to say is, what the fuck is a Donald Sanchez? What's he got, 5 fights? He's on a 5-fight win streak.
Oh, I love it. This is good. So, looking at him as an opponent, he has won four straight fights. You have, you haven't lost a fight since 2020. Hector Lombard. The winning streak you're on is fantastic. Uh, talk about that winning streak and the guys you've beaten. You've beaten Francisco Ricci, you've beaten Mike Richmond. You've beaten a list of guys. Talk about bringing that type of win streak into a fight like this.
Listen, man, honestly, let's go back to my loss. My loss is against Hector Lombard. At the time, nobody wanted to fight him. I took the fight 2 weeks notice, and the fight was supposed to be at 85. Weights jumped around and wound up being all the way up at like 214, I think is what we weighed in at.
Wow.
Honestly, I don't feel like I lost that fight. I broke my hand I believe it was the very first exchange. My very first left hand that I threw, cracked it on his forehead, knotted him up pretty well. And that hit alone kept him back the rest of the fight and allowed me to control the entire pace of the fight. A lot of people watch it, and there's not one person that I've talked to and said, Dave, we actually think you lost the fight. Everybody has told me over and over again that should have been a win. So I really don't feel like I have any blemishes on my record. Going back to the knockout, this thing started off with David Simpson. That was also another heavier weight class than what I'm supposed to be in. So I'm used to fighting these bigger guys as well. It doesn't bother me. And
the champ's being nice. The last good fighter he fought was Hector Lombard. Since then, 7-fight win streak, 5-fight knockout. What the fuck is a Doug Coltrane?
I love this actually. Prior to BKFC, you were in MMA for a number of years. What made that transition happen for you? You were a solid MMA fighter. A lot of guys that move over, I see, don't like to deal with takedowns or they're struggling in MMA because it's just a different sport.
I love MMA. I'm a black belt in jiu-jitsu, and I'm very good at it.
Mm-hmm.
I took some fights that I really had no business taking, as far as if I was going to take the career seriously. So that gave me some of the losses that I have, and I wasn't planning on stopping. I really wasn't. But then BKFC was coming to Tampa. They asked me to be on the card, and I'm a fighter. At the end of the day, I love these type of opportunities, and to have another notch in my belt is something that nobody else can say they've done. It excited me. And then when I went in there, I went in there with the mindset that I was only going to do the one and I was going to be done. But I think that fight lasted like 1 minute and 34 seconds, right? But that minute and 34 seconds was so thrill, just oh man, it lit a new fire, and I'm like, okay, I want to continue to do this. I want to do another one. And I mean, I think it was my third fight when I'm fighting, somebody I grew up watching, and I seen the growth and the mindset of Dave Feldman, and I just was like, man, like I want to ride this out and see where this goes. And here we are. I'm on top of the world, pound for pound, number one, and BKFC is the fastest growing combat sport out there right now. So it's untouched.
When you look in the mirror and you look at what you've been through, what you've gone through to get to this point, and looking at yourself and you say, I'm number one pound for pound. That's a special thing to talk about because there's only one person that has that recognition in any combat sport. And for you, you are number one pound for pound in BKFC. Do you ever sit back and say, man, this is special?
Um, I'm again, I I'm my own worst critic. I know I'm a phenomenal fighter. I know I have great hands, and I have that because of the work ethic I have, because of the amount of time I spend in the gym. My coaches as well, Jihad, number one. We have it's stall full of fighters that just we have 3 belts in the gym at one point in time. So it's just like I I
What
just
Dave's trying to say is, fuck yeah, that shit's special. Did you see the way Ricci fell? Did you see the way he dropped David Simpson? Shit was like David versus Goliath.
You have a great gym, obviously. I mean, you have champions in your gym. I mean, Jessica Borga is part of your gym, and I mean, she just won the championship in Dubai. Talk about someone like Jessica Borga. I mean, have you ever sparred with her? Because I mean, Michael Larimore told me she's hits harder than most guys.
absolutely. It's kind of funny because I think for the Spain, when I fought Christy, like she was honestly one of my main sparring partners. And when we talk about like in-house drilling and in-house sparring, like we're not over there trying to take each other's heads off. We're working technique, but we are smacking each other pretty hard to give a realistic look. We have certain drills that we do, and one of the ones that me and her did specifically was like if you had your back up against the ropes and how to counter. And one of us would only be allowed to hit to the head, the other one's only to the body, and open things up, moving, and all that stuff. And she hung in there with me, and she pushed me to work harder, And as far as work ethic goes, she's the only other person that I know that has a work ethic, if not higher than mine. Like I go and I train minimum 2 a days, and I had a full time job. I just recently was able to let go of the job and say I'm gonna really focus down on fighting and really put my all into this. Took a leap of faith, so to speak. So she is in there with my personal trainer, and then she shows up to the gym, and so I was seeing her everywhere I went. She was there, also doing the work and pushing just as hard. And I don't see what she does outside of it, but I know she's still working there. She's got her own ice bath, stuff like that. So, and that really speaks for itself. The hard work, the work ethic, and I can't explain that enough. It doesn't matter who you are. Any fighter coming up, you want to know the secret to success is that there is no secret. You just got to put the fucking work in.
So, I mean, with a gym like that, how much does a gym like that help you prepare? I mean, to be a champion because
Surrounded
you have elite fighters in their gym.
pillars, it's everything. It makes the difference. Without them, I wouldn't be where I was.
Hmm. So, again, there was something that came up. I did an interview with Harrison Aiken, and I know he sparred with you prior. Well, heck, when I was in Clearwater, I guess that week, and I just simply posted a post for the interview, and he then went to help Donald Sanchez, and I asked about that. Did that bother you as you just sparred with him? And then I on the Instagram post, it looks like your girlfriend got involved, and it became a back and forth. Do you have anything to say about that, or any comments on that? Did it bother you, or does it matter to you?
Honestly,
Um,
I didn't even know who he was or what he was about. He stayed in my DMs trying to get me to come out and spar. When he showed up, I seen him in person. He asked to spar, and I'm like I said, I'm a friendly guy. So we went in there and we worked, and that's just how it went.
What the champ meant to say is that's some snake ass shit. He was in the champ's DMs for months. We let him come out. And by the way, What the fuck is a headhunter? That sounds like a male gigolo or some shit.
It looks like your girlfriend though can handle herself because she's going back and forth, and those comments are going back and forth. And it seems like might we have some point because I see his girlfriend or fiance or wife are in the comments as well. Could we see a 2-on-2 tag team BKFC type of fight in the future? I mean, BKFC's doing some wild shit with the ring fights or the ice fights or whatever now too.
And she would go in there and mop the floor with both of them.
Anything from the guy from Noah? Nothing. Come on, now
He'd
you got something.
be worried about himself. Imagine being friends with some guy who just whooped your ass. Next question.
Looking at me, you've been with BKFC for quite some time now. I mean, you're going back to BKFC 6. I mean, that's towards the beginning of everything, and your guys are fighting in probably much smaller venues, and as it's grown, and you fought good, in Spain. I mean, the opportunity to fight in Spain. What was that like? And, and where this sport has come since you've been a part of it.
I think it was first off, it was awesome going out there. It was amazing. The trip, the culture, everything, the experience. I loved it. But going back to that fight, I was originally supposed to fight King Mo, right? And that was supposed to be in Miami, and
Hmm.
things got messed up there, which opened up the door to going over there to Spain. So, I mean, all in all, it was amazing. But
Hmm.
I, it's just crazy the roller coaster we go through to get to these spots. I thought I was gonna have um, I thought I was going to fight somebody with a much bigger name. And don't get me wrong, Christie was a phenomenal opponent. I'm glad I got a chance to fight him, and I think I gained a lot of fans over there in the UK when I did that because I don't think a lot of people expected me to make it look as easy as I did. But that's just the levels in this.
What the champ meant to say, once again, is what the fuck is a Danny Christie? We want the Eddie Alvarez's. We want the King Mo's. Fuck it. Give us Andre Arlovsky and we'll move up.
I mean, you mentioned King Mo. I mean, you're fighting at middleweight. This guy fought at heavyweight and light heavyweight and heavyweight in MMA. I mean, were you going to jump up to 205 pounds or something like that, or was he coming down to 175? What was that going to be?
I was going to fight Chris Camozzi, and we were talking about moving up to 205, and then when he took the belt, and honestly, I feel like I could have the belt in all three weight classes: 175, 185, and 205. And I would love to put that up there, and I would 100% show up. But BKFC doesn't want the double champ status, so like if I take one, I got to let go of one, and it's all money moves right now. I love fighting and I do it because I love it. But at the end of the day, it's also got to pay the bills so that I can continue to do what I love.
Hmm.
So I mean, if they need me somewhere else, man, I'm right there.
You mentioned you just left your, I guess, full time job while training. I mean, what were you doing as a full time job while training?
I was an electrician, so I'll be
Okay.
6 a.m. trying to cook my meals through the day, getting out the door, by 7, driving 45 minutes to an hour, depending on traffic, to get there. Then have to go do whatever for the day. I mean, it could be crawling in an attic, or it could be simple, just changing out outlets, but you never really knew. Get done with that, I'd go straight to my gym, work out with my personal trainer. Get done with that, go straight to boxing. I was gone from like 6 to like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and it took a heavy toll on the family and shit like that. So it's just it was a lot, and it's just it really held me back, and that's crazy to say considering how far I came with it. But can you guys imagine now what I'm gonna be able to do? Like, I can't wait to show y'all.
And that was actually going to be my next question. I mean, the opportunity now to not have to worry about doing all that, and now you just focus on training. Is this your first fight where you've just been able to focus on training?
Yeah, I think 4 weeks out, from maybe 5 weeks. I know I was in talks with Feldman, and I was trying to plead my case with him, and he eventually came around to see my side of things, and he helped me out a lot. Feldman's a good dude, he's got my back, and he says that about all the fighters, and people question it. Well, I'm here to say, like, he does. He looks out for us, and here I am. I had 4 weeks, 4.5 weeks of being able to just really fucking hammer down hard training, and then here I am 10 days early, acclimating to the weather, to the elevation, to the time difference. I know it doesn't seem like much, but 2 hours, is a lot. Like, if I'm training or fighting at 9 or 10 at night back home, that's 12 o'clock, you know, or 9 or 10 here, it's 12 o'clock back home, you know. So those little things make a big difference, and it matters, you know. So being out here did everything I could correctly, and you know, I'm super excited to show off.
You mentioned Dave Feldman. I mean, this guy's put together an organization, and I mean, I've heard stories where he basically was on his last dollar, kind of sign, similar to what you've heard in the past, possibly about the UFC. Like they were on to their last investment, and that was going to be it. And then the Ultimate Fighter pops off with Forrest Griffin and Stephen Bonner, and then Feldman mentioned he's like on his last limb, and it's popped off. You got Conor McGregor in this thing now. Obviously, he's brought a lot to the BKFC and opened the doors for a lot of you guys. What are your thoughts since Conor McGregor's jumped off and what Dave Feldman's been able to create here for you guys?
Goes right back to me fighting Hector, you know, making my idols my enemies type shit, you know. Um, Connor is somebody that I watched and looked up to, and he not only talked shit, but he would back it up. You know, he was a great promoter for himself. You know, without him talking and doing all the shit that he did, he wouldn't have all the money he has now. And I wish I could be more like that. Again, I had to bring somebody aboard here, right? Because I'm not that. I'm a quiet dude. I love fighting, and I wish that it was just only about skill. Like if I was the most skilled, I'd be the most popular. But this is an entertainment business, and I understand that. You know, so I'm doing things and I'm hiring people and helping get my shit together. But to have him now as my boss, let alone I never thought I would even be able to meet him. But now not only can I go like talk to him, have conversations with him, but he you know, he's my boss. Like that shit's cool as fuck.
Connor's the shit. With him knocking these motherfuckers out and me talking shit, Redneck to the moon.
He was at the fight in Spain. Did you have a chance to chop it up with him after your win?
Yes, sir. We was over there drinking a beer.
And what did he say to you? Because obviously you won by TKO in the second round. I mean,
It was so long ago, I can't remember. I know we talked a little bit about the Mike Perry fight. He said he loves the idea, you know, just little shit like that. We had a quick conversation about somebody who he said would sponsor me, and I dropped the ball on that shit. And Connor, if you're listening to this, get with me, please, because I got no job other than fighting people. But you know, still need to eat. So let me know.
you mentioned Mike Perry. Obviously, that's a fight that it seems like he gets called out a lot, and he does a lot of talking. Obviously, there's a fight there to be made. What are your words for Mike Perry, and why has this fight not happened yet?
Because he's scared, man. He knows he's got a big enough name to where he can pick and choose and fight other big name people that he feels like he can beat. You know, so you got somebody like me who's up and coming, right? I will have the recognition that I deserve. Like that's what I'm coming for. And at that point, I'm gonna force the hand and make him fight me, just so I can show to all the haters out there that say that he's, you know, the face of BKFC and all this other crap. He isn't shit. He isn't shit. He sucks. He hasn't grown at all. And being tough is not a compliment, man. Like you just means you get beat up, you know. And I promise you, he's not taking my power. I've dropped him in MMA with gloves on, you know. So I 100% know that I'll finish that fight. Um, and then he knows if he takes it and he loses to me now at this point in his career, I mean that's more devastating than his loss against Jake Paul.
Whew. I saw that motherfucker vaping on Instagram the other day. If he doesn't get back in the ring, he's gonna start looking like my fat ass.
I mean, so I heard Josh Dyer call him out in his last fight. I mean, even spoke to Harris Snake and he called him out too. It seems like there's a lot of guys that want to fight him. Is that a fight we will ever see, or is he being protected?
Listen, I love BKFC, but if they were to give it to another homegrown person before me, that's when you really will see a pissed off redneck, and I'd probably straight up leave the organization because the amount of disrespect that I would feel on that is crazy. Because it's been promised over and over again that he's going to be the next opponent, and things keep coming up. And I'm a company man, and I'm ready to fight anyone. I understand things got to make sense. It's why we're fighting here in Albuquerque. But at the end of the day, that's a fight that I've worked my ass off for, that I 100% deserve, and I'm 100% capable of whooping that dude's ass. So we'll just wait and we'll see what happens.
I met you up in Clearwater. What was it like watching teammates of yours fighting in Clearwater, the OCC, and I don't know if you've ever fought at the OCC or not. What was that experience like for you as a champion, be able to walk around with the belt and talk to fans and so forth, and also be able to cheer on your teammates and stuff like that?
All right, well, let's start off with watching teammates fight. You know, we had Crystal Pittman, we had Jared Warren, and Ryan Reber, and and Michael Larimore even. Watching those guys come out, like, it's more nerve wracking for me to watch them than it is for me to fight. Like, I understand what I'm capable, the abuse that I'm capable of taking, but like seeing friends and family like that go out there, it's gut wrenching because you're not them. Like, you don't have no control over it. And I'm just watching on the bystander, and I'm like, I wish I could get in there and do it for them. And then of course everyone seen fucking Reber making the shit harder than it needs to. Like, that kid, I love him to death. He's my brother, and in the gym, bro, he gives me problems. I'm like, why are you letting this kid fuck with you? Like, go forward and beat that man's ass. When you started doing it, you were whooping his ass. But he's got problems. He likes getting hit or some shit. I don't know, man. But that's okay. Like I said, it's my brother. I love him. Jared did phenomenal. Mike did phenomenal. Crystal had whatever happened there, and again, we'll run that shit back. We don't care about that. Let's take that road back real quick. But the OCC, man, like, I wasn't sure what that was gonna be like because it's not that big of a place, and that's why
Mhm.
we're doing like a fight night card there, not a numbered one.
Yeah.
But I had just went to a boxing um, card there like the week prior, and I was like, wow, okay, it's pretty nice. And then BKFC, and that shit was wow. Like, they did a phenomenal job again. I mean, they're always showing out. They're always putting us on the map. They got a team behind them that's doing some good shit.
Was the crowd bigger for the BKFC fight than the boxing event you went to the week before?
Absolutely. I was big on both nights, don't get me wrong, but the BKFC, like, just like the parking, right? So
Yeah.
we had to the boxing event, also had to go to the overflow parking, but there was maybe like 5 or 6 cars over there. That shit was packed and people still had to go somewhere else. Like, that was crazy. That was crazy. Like, I don't know, since it's outside, I don't know if the rule changes about how many people you can have in there. But I mean, I'd question whether or not they were in their legal limits because that shit was packed, man. It was, but hey, it was an amazing night. Everyone did fucking fantastic, and it was great.
Yeah, I talked to Reber prior to the fight, and he said I asked him if he was staying in the hotel, and he said, "Nah, I live 5 minutes away. I can just roll my ass out of bed, uh, train out. I can do my warm up at home and just roll over and whoop this guy's ass." you know, but he also, but you mentioned that like he backs up so much. It's like, why do you keep doing that? And I know his manager, and like, why do you keep backing up? I mean, does that mean you guys talked to him about come forward? Just come forward.
Right. It's that's something that I can't answer because that goes out to each individual fighter. Like, why do we do what we do when we're in there? That's the psychology of everything. Some people, they fight like they practice. Other people fight better. Some people are complete opposites. And he's at the moment the opposite. But we're working towards changing that. And I think a lot to do, at least with that fight, was the opponent. Right? He didn't overlook him because he was training hard, but I don't think he expected that kid to bring what he did, to be as durable as what he was, because he was winning the whole fight. In my eyes, there was a few rough moments. I get that, but he would always take it back. So he was picking out the counters, he was touching them, he was hurting them, and he was winning. So when you're winning, and I used to be guilty of this too, like when I'm doing good, like I'm not going to push harder and risk, potentially getting clipped or something and then losing the fight. That was the mindset that I used to have. I had to evolve into what I am now and learn. And a lot of that learning experience came from when I fought Hector, because I went out there, broke my hand, and I kind of went into like a survival mode. I was still thought I did enough to win, and I did, but I remember there was a point in time my coach was like, "Go forward." I'm like, I don't want to brawl out with this guy with one hand. Like that just didn't make sense to me in the middle of the fight, and I wish I would have listened to him. So I learned to give him trust, and I learned that what the BKFC wanted to see. So, and I'm excited to see when that pops up. But when that clicks with Ryan, man, phew, he's gonna be a dangerous motherfucker. He already is, but when that happens, he's gonna be putting kids smooth out.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great performance. I mean, I thought the first round he backed up a bit too much, and after that, I thought he completely controlled the fight for the most part.
We all
Fights next. Go
we all
ahead.
we all play with our food a little bit the first round.
I was gonna ask you, do some guys just need to get hit in the face first before they wake up?
Listen, I would like to say no, but I mean, I've been again guilty of the same shit, and it's not something that I'm looking for. You know, it's just something that happens, and you get smacked, and you're like, okay, I gotta lock in right now, or I'm gonna lose to this bum. You know, and I'm not letting that shit happen. Not especially not in front of my people. Like fuck that. So some people need it, but um, I don't think it's necessary.
He's lying. This sick motherfucker likes it.
So let me ask you this: where does the nickname Redneck come from? You're from Florida, so I mean, I'm from South Florida. You're from the Tampa area. Dunedin, I see, is where you're from. Where did it come from?
All nicknames are given to us. We don't
Mm,
give them to ourselves, right? Uh,
mm,
it came from my coaches.
okay.
Just I grew up, living on the woods. I fish all the time. I was riding dirt bikes, four wheelers. I work with my hands. I have a redneck ingenuity, right? Like I can fix shit, and maybe not the correct way, but it will work. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that. So, anyways, going back to it, I used to have a different nickname. I didn't like it, whatever, but I didn't say anything. We just going out. But then I went to a different gym, which with Jihad, and that's
Mhm.
what he called me, Redneck. So that just stuck. And honestly, it was very fitting. I like to come out with the cowboy hat. This is something that it just really, again, it just really stuck.
Okay, no, definitely. I was curious. That's for sure. Because I mean, we don't have that. We don't have really any ranches in Florida, so or all that many. Do you ride horses?
uh, Not currently, but when I was a kid, I had to for like summer camps and shit like that. I used to go to a place called Hire a Pony, whatever.
Yeah.
I was a troublemaker apparently, but there'd be times when mom would get phone calls like, "Hey, we left your kid in the woods because he wouldn't get back in the truck," type shit. But again, I lived back there. I rode four wheelers and shit, so I was just a stubborn little asshole. But I knew what I was doing. And then
So
I think they're called Clydesdales, right? The big,
mhm.
fucking, giant white horses, and they're just like super, like thick, like way bigger than a normal horse. They used to get out, and they would send me out there to go get them, and I would jump on their backs and ride them back bareback, no reins, no nothing, just because like I knew the woods, I could go find them. And could you imagine if you did that shit now? Like, could you imagine a parent getting the phone call? Dude, that shit be on the news. Place be getting shut down. But it wasn't like that. It was small. I'm from Oldsmar, it's a small town, and back in the day. There was a lot of dirt roads and shit like that. It was chilled, It was, I don't know, it was cool shit. But currently, no, I don't ride horses.
Okay. I saw you on the other podcast and I commented on it that you beat up someone as an 11-year-old and you ended up in jail for that or arrested for that. How the hell did they? I mean, they really cuffed you at school for punching a kid one time in the face?
Dude, my daughter's 11 right now. I can't imagine her like getting arrested for fighting. Like we are kids, and back in the day, like it was worse than it is now. Like it's not like fighting was such a big deal. I don't know if this was like the start of this whole like zero tolerance bullshit, and I wasn't even picking on the kid. Like I don't know exactly how it came about, but like I said, he threw something at me, and I went over there and hit him. It was pretty cut and dry. There was no fucking fancy. I wasn't threatening him every day and he's going home crying to his mom. And then one day he goes home with a big old fucking cut under his eye. It wasn't anything like that. I was a quiet person. I didn't fucking pick on nobody. I minded my own business. I got hit in the shirt with a fucking French fry, big old stain of ketchup. I got pissed off. I hit him. You asked for it in my eyes. I'm like, I don't understand it, but Yeah,
That's crazy. I can't even picture someone being arrested for a basic school fight. I mean, I saw school fights happen all the damn time. Heck, I saw a guy when I was in high school. It's funny. It's funny story. Funny and also, the guy's like 5'8". Dude was like 5'8". They got into something in a class. The other dude is like 6'4". The dude who's 5'8" knocks out the dude who's 6'4". I mean, cleans him out. I do think he got I think he got expelled from school actually because I went to Catholic school, but he didn't get arrested for it, and he broke that dude's nose.
yeah. And then that's what I'm saying. Like, and I've obviously gotten to other fights along the way. Apparently,
Yeah.
lesson, whatever. But I didn't get arrested for those. I'd get suspended for a few days, shit like that, or whatever. But like, dude, 11 years old, and they came into my classroom. They handcuffed me in front of everybody. They walked me through the school, put me in the back of the cop car, bring me down. I think the place is called like P-Jack or some shit like that. And I'm sitting there fucking starving. They're like, all you can have are these crackers. And it's like, I wasn't a bad kid like that. I don't understand what it was. Just like completely uncalled for, completely uncalled for. But
Did
whatever.
they print you and put you in a cell?
Probably like a holding room type shit.
Yeah.
I had to sit on the benches and stuff and just wait for fucking hours, bro. I remember like I in school, so whatever time we're in school, and it was nighttime. By the time I got out of there, I'm like,
Wow.
can you imagine being 11 years old? Like,
Mm,
what the fuck
yeah.
is going on, bro? I was pissed. And I had a little fucking pack of crackers all day. Man, fuck this shit.
Yeah. So when did you know that you were a fighter? Was this it, or was it before this, or when did you know that you wanted to be in combat sports?
No, growing up, I was a butterball, man. I was a little fat kid, and I was very coordinated. I played football, so I just loved to be active. I rode bikes, but I think it was my senior year, about halfway through the wrestling season. One of the coaches like, we don't have these weights. You should come out and try out the team. Again, I got into a few fights back in high school. I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'll give it a try. I started doing that, and I was just naturally good at it. I was naturally aggressive, and I fell in love. And it was the first time, like, even if you ask my mom, like, I truly, like, locked in on something. I was eating correctly. I lost a bunch of weight. I was feeling, looking good, and I was dedicated. And I mean, I loved that shit. Like, I just only wanted to go to practice. Like, even because I wrestled, I didn't have to go to classes and do all the schoolwork. I only had to take the test, and as long as I did good on the test, whatever I got on those, with the grade I would get. And I was smart as a kid. Like, I could look at something, review it, understand it, go past it. All right, cool. Um, so like, I was just always doing active stuff. I just wanted to wrestle, wanted to wrestle, wanted to wrestle. I think after high school, you go in, you look for tournaments and stuff, and I didn't want to do the college scene because I hated school anyways, and I don't think it'd have been the same kind of deal I had made out in high school. So I was doing these tournaments, I was running these guys over, and then I wrestled with my buddy Nia Lee, and he was 135 pounds at the time. I'm like 190, and we're just doing this shit the whole time. Like, I couldn't do anything to him. He couldn't submit me, but he's like doing shit that I'm like making me have to move. And I'm just like, wow, what the fuck is it? And he was doing jujitsu for a while, so I'm like, well, fuck it, I'm gonna go do some classes with you. And I kind of just fucking took off from there.
Well, I appreciate you jumping on with me today. Love your story, man. I feel bad for that 11-year-old kid who got knocked in the face. Probably still. Hey, you know what? He has a story to tell
I bet
because
he
he says this scar is from the BKFC pound for pound number one fighter in the world.
wonder if he even knows that.
What are your final thoughts, final message? What's your final message to, the fans out there and coming up for this fight next week, and your message to your opponent, Donald Sanchez? Do you want him to give that message? Or do you want Noah to give that message?
Coming out there, I'm gonna show all the hard work that I put in, and I'm gonna show that there's levels to this. At the end of the day, I'm getting my hand raised. Promise you that.
June 6th, Albuquerque, New Mexico. This motherfucker's finna take a nap. Conor McGregor, David Feldman, what's up?
Well, I appreciate it so very much, David. Folks, I got David the Redneck Mundell. He is fighting, defending his middleweight strap at BKFC 75 in Albuquerque, New Mexico, next Friday night, June 6th. don't miss it, because these fights, they can last 10 seconds or 5 rounds, and they're always great, man. But again, thank you so very, very much. I appreciate your time, and best of luck to you next week, man, my friend. Ladies and gentlemen, again, David Redneck Mundell. This is Combat Corner, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.
I've been down through the blood and the sweat. Guarantee you can know I'm a threat. I've been down